Hey, it's Chris. In this video, we're going to be interviewing the Relics. I'm Chris with Picks and Sticks Music Studio, and if you're new to this channel, we're an all things music channel, and we like to support our local artists and bands. And in this episode, like I said, we're going to be introducing the Relics. Interviewing the Relics. And if you want to see more interviews like this, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. If you like this interview at the end, hit the like button. Not only does this help the channel, but this also helps promote the bands we're interviewing. More, likes we get, more views they get, and more recognition they get because they deserve it a lot because they work their butts off and they deserve the recognition. So anyway, this is episode number 18 of the local artists and bands, and I'm very excited to welcome to the channel the Relics, man. And here we go. I'm going to bring them on right here.
Hey.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. How are we doing tonight, fellas?
You guys being with us. And Scott Reeves is going to be moderating this as always. And so you guys have any bad comments or anything like that, he's going to delete them. No, nobody ever has bet. I don't think we've ever had to do that. So I already see one comment. It's probably Scott saying, let's see, nope, that's not him. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that one. Anyway, why don't we start by introducing yourselves?
Yeah. My name's Joseph. I'm the singer and original member of the Relics. Started the band back in 2017, and it's been my one and only band. It's been doing it now for the last 4 years, and I see Scott Reeves is here. I'm not a duck.
That's the one I saw that I was like, oh, somebody already commented.
Yep, but it's been a great process. We've been playing for the past 4 years, and I'll turn it off to Greg. Greg's the second oldest member that we've had in the band.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I'm Greg Washington, the drummer of the band, also referred to as Rock Steady Greg.
That's right. Rock Steady Greg.
Yeah, I've been playing with the Relics for, it been 3 years, Joseph?
Yeah, so since 2018, so I guess that's about 3 years now.
Yeah. I mean, time really flies, but been playing with the band for about 3 years, and just been enjoying the whole process, and it's having me focus on really more so just, as my nickname goes, just keeping everything steady. Nice in the groove. I like to keep people dancing, so that's my focus.
Awesome.
Right on. Well-deserved name, Rocksteady Greg.
Rocksteady Greg. Sean would be our third oldest member now that's been in the band, the third longest now.
Yes,
Sean
my name
Maloney.
is Sean Maloney. I joined the band in, 2019, and in the summer of that.
Yeah, that was when you joined the band.
I replaced then guitarist Mitch Pugh. Wonderful guy. He's got his own projects going on, but he moved to North Carolina. I love classic rock, and I've been playing guitar since I've been about 10 years old, same as drums. You can see my cat over here to the left. He's a good boy, and he's glad that he can be on the show.
Well, that's a beautiful cat, Sean. So my name is Andrew. I am the bass player, the newest member of the Relics, new as of this January. I just moved down to Atlanta about a year ago at this time and found the band through an ad on Craigslist. So that was a great, I feel like it's not often that you find really great things on Craigslist. So that worked out really nicely. They practice in kind of, we practice in kind of a warehouse that looks a little sketchy. So when I went in there for the first time, I was really hoping I wouldn't get murdered, and it worked out. I've been playing guitar since I was like 12 or 13, and a couple of years ago, I had a friend who was in a band and needed a bass player, so I just made the switch because no one ever needs a guitar player because everyone plays guitar. So I figured I'd fit in with the bass.
And it's been a great fit for the bass. We've been very happy to have Andrew, and he's written some really good songs too that we've been playing. Mm-hmm. So it was great to add some of his songs to our catalog of songs.
Yeah, I'll definitely have some questions about that because it's definitely a challenge to go from guitar to bass. So we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Oh yeah,
not to put you in the hot seat.
Oh please.
Yeah. Originally, it's funny. A matter of fact, like I was playing, me and the original bass player we were switching out. So on songs that he was singing, I would play bass, and then songs that I sang, I played guitar. And at the very, very, very beginning of the band, I was playing bass for probably 90% of the set, even on some of the songs I was singing on, and it was definitely a challenge. So that's why I kind of pushed the bass away from me and didn't want to play it because it was hard, especially if you had written a song. It was hard to like explain the song while I had a bass in my hand, where I couldn't like play the chords or something, unless it was like some riff based song or something.
Right.
I feel that.
And
Yeah.
the backbone of a band is typically the bass player and the drummer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
If
Yeah,
they-
I'm very
those two-
lucky.
If those
I'm
two
lucky.
can,
I was gonna say. Sorry.
no, go ahead. I was just saying,
I'm lucky to. Oh my gosh, you go.
Sorry.
I got stuff I want to say.
No, that's good. Let's
No,
go
that's
with
fine.
it.
You're
Let's
fine.
go. Let's go. You're good. Let's go.
So I was just gonna say, like the bass and drums are backbone of the band. I'm super lucky to be in the band with Greg, who keeps me on task and on rhythm all the time. And I feel
You're too
like we have
kind,
a
man. Too
great
kind.
space.
Too kind.
So I'm lucky. Yeah,
I
that's
gotta
all.
say, as
Rock
a
steady.
lead guitarist who's soloing over these guys, it's quite a pleasure to be able to have these guys at my side.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. And as
My
someone
pleasure.
with weaker rhythm, it's great to have a strong band that I can fall back on, and I don't have to worry about because I can just follow them, and as long as I'm following them, I can have confidence to know that I'm in the pocket.
Nice.
Mhm.
That's awesome. Yeah, if you, like I said, what I was going to say, if you have a good drummer and bass player, it makes everybody else's lives so much easier,
Oh, yeah.
and as long as
Oh,
you
yeah.
can follow that tempo and stay in key, and yeah, so that's good. And what I was going to say before, I have a whole list of questions here, but we can always skip to it. Like usually guitar players come in and play bass, they play too many notes or, and so that's a very big challenge. So if you can do that, which, it sounds like you can, that's awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, it was definitely an adjustment. When I first started playing bass, I was just in a 3-piece, so it was really important to kind of keep things simple and just help give the band a full sound. And me and that drummer, my old project, were really close as well. So I've been lucky to have good relationships with the drummers, and switching to the bass has been fun because I'm kind of happy being in the background and allowing Sean and Joseph to shine with their talents, and then being able to sing harmonies and then sing some lead vocals as well. And we all work together in the songwriting. So it's really been a great project. I still play with a pick though. I get kind of embarrassed around some of the elder bass players who are doing this, and I just use the pick. I go like Mark Hoppus from Blink-182 on that. That's
Well,
my-
I mean, so is Duff McKagan. He's one of the best
Yeah.
bass players ever, and he
That's
does, he does a ton of harmony. He does a ton of pocket. He's all over the place, right? And he stays with his pick. That's his sound. So
good.
That's
Don't-
exactly where my mind went to as well. When Andrew said playing bass with the pick, I'm like, oh yeah, Duff McKagan was a P90. No, that's a guitar pickup. What pickup did he use?
I know he has a jazz bass, but he definitely has those bright strings on there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Those rounds.
Yeah. So, but I think we're past the icebreaker, but we'll go with it anyway. All right, Waffle House or IHOP?
Ooh, how drunk am I?
Oh man, so for that one, my answer is split. So like, what I like about IHOP is that they have pancakes, and Waffle House doesn't. And I like pancakes better than waffles, but Waffle House has better, I would say, eggs and also better hash browns. Their hash browns are really, really good, and their bacon's better. So I guess if it's late at night, Waffle House, because Waffle House is pretty good late at night. If it's like in the around the afternoon for lunch, I'm gonna go with IHOP, which is probably terrible for you because it's so caloric, and to be eating that late at night, that's not good for you. And I'll put the pounds on.
It doesn't matter. Either one's probably not great for you.
No, they're both not. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with IHOP for my answer. I gotta say I've never been to a Waffle House and thought, wow, this lives up to sanitary expectations.
I'm going to say,
That's my answer.
I'll say Waffle House because I have a couple of go-to items going there. I haven't been there. It's been a minute since I've been to Waffle House. Eat a lot healthier now. But as far as the Waffle House, my go-to items, I love pecan waffles. I got weird taste anyway. So pecan waffles, egg and cheese on wheat, special requests. So, and it's easier to find a Waffle House for the most part than it is an IHOP. So
Yeah,
definitely Waffle House.
they're everywhere.
Well, that's pretty interesting.
In the South.
I come from North Carolina. That's where I grew up, and there's a very fair amount of Waffle Houses there. There's quite a few, but I had no idea how many Waffle Houses are in Georgia.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
An insane amount.
yeah. It was funny. I was at a family event back in February, and one of my little cousins from Texas asked me, "Do you know what Waffle House is?" And I was like, laughing. I was like, "They're all over Georgia." Yeah, but no, it's everywhere in Georgia. You can't go, more than 5 miles without running into one.
So I moved from northern Indiana where there were no Waffle Houses within a many mile radius. So I tried Waffle House for the first time down here, and I gotta say I prefer Waffle House.
Oh,
Yeah, and
nice.
It has a very nice 50s nostalgic vibe.
It does.
I'll give it that. Just some. I think I've had more interesting experiences at Waffle House than at IHOP. I went to Waffle House on New Year's Eve one day because all my friends were out of town, and so I went there. I was there when the New Year came in, and I had this old waitress whose name was Aura, and she was just super like weird but also cool, and just a very memorable experience. But I got to say, Waffle House gives me more memorable experiences.
Nice.
Yeah. No, Waffle House is definitely. You can see some interesting things. I think Andrew's cat likes Waffle House better
I'm
too.
sorry, my cat was. I had my door closed. My cat is going nuts. I've just been out of town for a week, and my neighbors have been watching the cat, and so she really wants to spend time with me.
You should have her in there.
I was like mad texted my fiance. I was like, just get the cat. I want an interview, but
It's no big deal. It's funny.
sometimes the
cat says, "I want." She wants Waffle House.
No problem.
She'd love it.
Scott said, so it depends, I guess, where you live. It's pecan or pecan. Waffles are the bomb.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
Scott and I went to high school together, but I'm a couple grades older than him, but or 1 grade older than him. But anyway, my wife and I, she's 2 years younger than me, grade wise, and we'd always, after the football games, we'd go to Waffle House, and so that's one of those memories of always going to Waffle House after the football games.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Nice, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun time.
Yeah. So
I remember one time with my ex-girlfriend, I was there, and it was late at night, and I was just telling, I was like, I can't get out of the friend zone with her. I was just messing with her to try and embarrass her in front of the waitress. I was like, she won't let me out of the friend zone. I can't get out. And it was just, she was getting so embarrassed. It was funny.
that's awesome.
I'm not going to roast you too hard, but notice you said ex-girlfriend after that.
That's not why she's my ex-girlfriend, but that would have been really funny if that was why she was my ex-girlfriend. She just dumped me right after that.
All right. So how was the band formed?
So the band was formed in 2017. That's why I didn't want to go into too much details when I was introducing myself. So I formed it down here in my basement, and I had a childhood friend who formed it with me, and we had some friends originally that were playing with it, and then it didn't work out with some of the friends that were in it, and then we found a drummer that put an ad up on Guitar Center, and this guy named John Chambers, he had just moved with his family from Missouri, and he came and he auditioned with us, and we had already put out this demo of this song called Baby Blue that I had written. I started writing songs in 2017, and John, he came in and he auditioned with the song, and it just really blew me and the other member away because it was just a lot better than the original drummer we had before that, who was just a friend. And that's when we started playing shows after that. But I had started writing songs back that summer in 2017. The first song I ever wrote was a song called Baby Blue. And then I wrote another song called Just Another Name. And then I started writing in the month of October in 2017. We had our first drummer. He had quit. And I just was super emotional because I had quit, or I had decided not to take this one job within ministry to pursue the band full time. And I thought I just totally screwed my life up because right after I decided to do that, the guy who was, I thought, going to play drums with us had quit. And, but that got me in a super emotional state. So I was writing songs left and right. And I wrote the song Roundabout that month, which ended up being in the charts in Honduras for a day last year, actually, funny enough. And then shortly after that, I started writing more positive songs like Tonight's the Night and It's All Right and stuff like that. That were off our first EP. We did a lot of shows in 2018 in the spring. We won this Battle of the Bands at Mad Life, and that's kind of when we started doing shows more often. We played at the Masquerade that summer. Greg played with us. That he joined us that summer after our first drummer that we had ended up leaving the band, the one that came off the Guitar Center ad. And then Mitch joined us later on that fall, and he played lead guitar with us for about a year until he moved to North Carolina when Sean joined us. And then we put out our first EP back in 2019 in February, and we've been putting out some singles this year. We had one single called Addicted that came out in March. That was the B-side. And then we released the A-side, Standing Tall, back in June. And, of course, Andrew joined us this past January.
Nice.
All of the current members, except for Joseph, were found on Craigslist.
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's I found all these guys via Craigslist, including Mitch, who was the guitarist before Sean. That was that was through Craigslist. So that's always a funny story.
Joseph put up an image. I think it was Jimmy Page on stage.
It was. Right? It was
black and white image of Jimmy Page. And funny enough, I'm wearing a Led Zeppelin shirt right now. But, Led Zeppelin's one of the biggest influences on me.
Yep.
So go ahead.
Yeah, that was we had some songs that because we have a classic rock style of music, and I thought Jimmy Page would be a good poster child of classic rock for a guitar, looking for a lead guitarist. Right. So Jimmy Page was the perfect person to me for the kind of guitarist I wanted to attract in the band. Someone like Sean.
Yeah.
Thanks,
exactly.
buddy.
Of course.
You got him.
Yeah, so you're as a group, you're pretty young together, I mean,
yeah.
Like you and I think I started following you guys probably late 2019, 2020. But
yeah, I think that was around the time I remember seeing you start following us on Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't know. How was it you found out about us? Was it through a show or just social media?
Social media.
Nice.
I do my best to try to find every single, local band around Atlanta. And
that's awesome.
And then it kind of branched out to Southeast because it started getting hard in the beginning trying to find, local bands. And then all of a sudden they just, as you start interviewing them, and then, the social media thing, it just started snowballing. So now it's like, man, there's a lot of Atlanta bands.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I try to stay with, rock. That's, my genre, but, but I'm not against, country or anything like that. So I do it all.
Yeah.
If you guys, if the people can play and, they can, do the whole music thing, I'm in. So
yeah.
Atlanta's a really interesting city genre wise. I've found that there's just about every genre that exists inside Atlanta. And
there really is.
Plethora of every genre. Whatever you are interested in, there's a niche for that here.
Yeah, there is. I mean, there's other bands that are similar to us that have, strong classic rock influences and bands that have kind of a classic rock or 90s influence because we have a bit of 90s in us too. Then that's kind of like how the band got started. Originally we were playing covers, a lot of covers like Beatles covers and stuff like that, and also some Green Day covers. And that was kind of where the influence of music, where the music came out of. For me, at least. The best
way to describe it is if you just took Beatles and Green Day and said, all right, now go write a song.
Yeah, that really is, kind of Green Day, song structure with a lot of the melody type melodic lines similar to what the Beatles would have used, or harmonies that the Beatles would have used.
Right.
So that's kind of where I came from with songwriting, with a little bit of Tom Petty and the Who and the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, a big
there
amount
too.
of it, I'd say a big amount.
A big amount of the Who, yeah, and Jet. Jet's a pretty big influence of mine too.
Yeah, I mean, I was checking out all your videos and stuff and sharing them with a friend at work and stuff. And
I appreciate that.
Your Green Day cover's awesome. Your Beatles is really good.
Thank you.
I mean, you guys didn't miss on anything. So
yeah, Green Day cover, we put that out last year in September because with COVID and everything that was going on, we thought that would be a really good. I hate to say it, but it was like, you never let a good crisis go to waste. We said this song, as I don't mean to sound irreverent in any way when I say that, but that song, I felt like hit harder last year than it ever did before.
It fit its purpose
because everyone wanted that year to be over, and that song, even though that's not what it's about, if you know anything about Green Day, he wrote that about his dad who had passed away.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he actually wrote that. A lot of people think that song's about 9/11 because it's September, and that album's a very political album. But it's actually, he wrote that song. That's why he said 20 years has gone so fast, because he actually wrote a lot of that song when he was younger. Like a lot of those lines, I think it's a poem or something, possibly, I don't know. But he actually said to his mom, because he was in his room, and she was trying to wake him up for school, and he said, "Wake me up when September ends," because his dad died when he was like 6 or 7 or something like that.
That's sad. Now I'm gonna listen to that song totally different.
Oh no, to me, it makes that song much more beautiful to me, and that's one of the reasons why he doesn't play it live much, because it's emotional for him to play that song.
Definitely, yeah. So how did you guys come up with your name?
I'm gonna leave that one to Joseph.
Yeah, so I thought of the Relics. I guess I was in the shower when I thought of the Relics.
We're all good thoughts come to us.
Yeah, no, I was just brainstorming ideas because we were thinking of names for the bands, and some really bad ideas had passed my mind at first, like things like the Otters. Could have said. I said, girls will love it. Thank God we didn't go with that. I was thinking of stuff like some of those 60s British invasion bands. It sounded like something they would say, like the Otters. And I said, "Oh, girls will love it. They'll oh, it's the Otters. They'll want to come to the show."
No, man.
No, that was not. But like the guitarist who was in the band at the time, who's also my friend Dylan, he was like, "No, man, I don't want to be in a band called the Otters." And he's like,
Dylan, I said thanks.
Yeah, Dylan, thank you for that one. So that was just a joke I did too. I wasn't really taking that seriously. I had no idea what I wanted to call the band, before I was trying to do like a Beatles cover band. I didn't even write originals originally. I was just trying to make a Beatles tribute band, and my last name's Pieper. So the idea for the Beatles tribute band was Sergeant Piper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And we actually
I didn't know that.
You should have told me that joke.
I've never told you all that joke. Yeah, we called it that. We actually did a few open mics with that, but the Relics came to me, I think it's because I remembered from this one Paul McCartney song, Venus and Mars Rock Show. There's a line where he says, "It's like a relic from a different age," where he's talking about Jimmy Page or something like that. And that I just was like, "Oh, that's a cool name." So I said that kind of captures our sound for our song. It's the Relics sound. It's kind of a classic rock. So I thought the name of the Relics was a good name for the band. I once I made that our name, I also unfortunately realized that there were a few other bands with that name, but luckily none of them were like famous. So I trademarked the name recently. So now we legally own it. So it's our name.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did kind of notice that a little bit because like every interview I do, this one's a little bit different, but about a week and a half out, I'll start like researching the bands.
Yeah.
And so
well, once I figure out how to do the cease and desist thing, that there won't be any other Relic bands.
They'll be Relics.
They won't be there anymore.
I always saw like one or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'll like, Google search the names, and I try to find interviews and like listen to interviews that you've done or whatever. And any content I can find just to help out with the interview. So
that's cool.
I do a lot of research that people don't realize, but
yeah.
And
my favorite color. What's my favorite color, Chris?
I don't know that one. I think it's I'm going to go with black since you're wearing a black shirt.
I like dark grays quite a lot.
Dark gray,
I only work in black and sometimes really, really dark gray.
Batman from the Lego movie, right?
There we go. All right. So what are some of your biggest influences?
So
I'll go first.
Yeah, Sean, you got it.
Yeah. Well, 2 days ago, I just got my first tattoo, if that says anything. It's Dark Side of the Moon. Pink Floyd has been a humongous influence on my life. All of the albums have been amazing for me to experience and really enjoy, as well as Tool. I love bands that really put a lot of thought into musicianship, their lyricism. But I also love 80s hair metal bands that know how to make like Poison and Def Leppard and Motley Crue. I love like Dokken and all that stuff, but also like the 70s classic rock, like Led Zeppelin and also Black Sabbath. I love metal like Megadeth and Meshuggah. I love Pantera and just a very, very wide genre. I also spent a lot of time exploring the Beatles and really my mom gave me an early Beatles album and I was like, this is terrible. I don't and so I hated the Beatles for so long until I was about 18 or 17, somewhere in that range. And I listened to the Love album and heard all the different eras of the Beatles in totally different ways. And it really blew my mind. What they were coming up with and the studio production and how they were carrying out what they were doing. So across my living room wall, there's all sorts of posters. Actually, they're all music posters. I've got Rolling Stones and Nirvana, Jimi Hendrix, Tool and Pink Floyd, AC/DC. I saw Van Halen, God rest his soul, when I was 15 years old. That was an incredible experience. Guns N' Roses, Fleetwood Mac, more Pink Floyd, the Eagles. I saw the Eagles as well before Glenn Frey passed away. God rest his soul as well. But just a very wide range of influences, but all centered around older classic rock.
Right. That's one of Scott's favorites is Van Halen. He was growing up. He was always big into them. But any other influences out there with you guys?
Yeah. I think we all have pretty different spectrums that we kind of draw from. For me, I listen to a lot of like kind of new age pop punk and punk music, as well as a lot of like indie pop sort of music that's very different from the kind of stuff that we do. But I think all of us kind of have a basis of classic rock. I grew up listening to a lot of classic rock, like Eric Clapton and Carlos Santana and Dire Straits, a lot of different bands like that. And I think we can all kind of draw from that and all kind of draw from our different influences to make something that's kind of unique. When people ask me what our genre is, I'm kind of just like rock and roll, like it all just kind of comes together.
Yeah, that's something that definitely Andrew pointed out, is that we all bring a different perspective to this idea of rock and roll. None of us are coming from the same place. We all are combining our rock and roll forces to make something completely unique and different.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, yeah, and I've noticed, when you play riffs and stuff like that, if you're just playing riffs and like you're playing, Megadeth or Van Halen or, Black Sabbath, it doesn't, it all kind of sound like it's all similar. You know what I mean?
It all, just rock and roll to me.
Yeah, it all comes. Yes, there. Thank you.
Yeah. It's the same for me. It's just kind of, that's been the cool thing about having these guys in the band is that I feel like our sound, particularly this year, has kind of came together in a new way with like, some of the new songs that these guys, have been writing and stuff, and that I've been writing, and like stuff that they add to the songs that I've written and stuff that we've all kind of added to stuff that they've written. It's kind of neat seeing our different influences coming together this year.
Right.
Like for me, my influences are kind of stuff that I already listed, like the Beatles, Green Day, Tom Petty, the Rolling Stones, The Who is a big one for me. Jet, I got real into them. in 2018 and started listening to their album Get Born, and that's had a pretty big influence on me. Also, some other, even it's funny to say, some of the other local bands have had an influence on me since once we got on the scene. Like it kind of changed my songwriting once we started playing with these different bands. Bands like the Blam Blams from Nashville, and even the Last Chance Riders. They're a band here in Atlanta,
Right?
And there was a band called Twin Birds. They're no longer together, but they were. We played with them early on, and I really liked their sound, and they had an influence on me.
I think you'd be remiss if you didn't mention David Bowie and Queen.
David Bowie and Queen, and David Bowie and Queen, and honestly Pink Floyd now too. Sean got me real into Pink Floyd. They haven't influenced my songwriting yet, but I like them a lot. And Billy Joel,
I showed him The Wall, the movie of The Wall, for the first time, and it just blew his mind.
It was really good. And also, Billy Joel and Elton John. That's
definitely
another really big one. I mean, Billy Joel is a lyricist for me more so than anything. Just I like his music, but I remember when I was first writing, I really tried to be like Billy Joel sometimes with like the descriptive songwriting.
Joseph, can we cover Rocket Man?
That would be a really good one to cover.
I'll play the
piano. Oh yeah, I'd love to cover Rocket Man.
You know what would be really good if somebody ever covered is Billy Joel's "We Didn't Start the Fire." If you could change that to more like rock and roll.
Yeah, that's
my god.
I know all the lyrics to that song too, because I made a point to learn that song because I used to host karaoke, and sometimes I would do that one, and I would go off stage and keep singing it while not looking at the screen just to impress people.
I'm sure they all noticed.
Yeah.
Or REM, what is it?
Into the World.
Into the World. That would be an awesome rock song. I mean,
yeah, I know. It's funny. I think he actually caught the idea of "We Didn't Start the Fire" from that song because he was writing a song. Billy Joel normally has a very melodic style of songwriting, and "We Didn't Start the Fire" is more linear. It doesn't have like that. It has kind of like droning melody, but which is why he doesn't like the song as much because most of his songs are super, super melodic and they sound. You can play them on the piano and they sound like a piece, but that one's just like dun 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 dun, stuff like that.
Well, somebody recently just came out with a song. It was somebody really, really, high, popular or whatever. And I swear it was like they ripped off "We Didn't Start the Fire." And it had so much of it in there. My wife's like, "No, it's not even close." I'm like, "It is. It's like the same exact, at least it's the same chord progression or something." But anyway,
I know it's the same chord progression as Wagon Wheel once because I remember I was playing it at this open mic at this place where people like country a lot, and it got some people's hopes up. And I really don't like the song Wagon Wheel, so I was like, "Oh no, I wouldn't be caught dead singing that song." So
who doesn't like Wagon Wheel?
I don't.
Oh man,
I cannot stand that song.
I don't know. I'm not going to say anything about it. So I was going to talk about the first show you guys played, but how about the first show you guys played together?
That's a good idea because that's one of the jokes of the Relics is thank God now we've had continuity now for almost coming up, getting more than a year and stuff, and really the last few years until Andrew joined us. But the first show we played ever overall was at Smith's Bar, or it was the first real show we ever played was at Smith's Bar as far as like playing in Atlanta goes. But this first show we played together here as a band would have been in Elberton back in March, I would say. At this place called Imperial Lounge, a band that we're good friends with. Ashes to Omens has come open for them, and we went. It was about what would we say, guys, like an hour and a half drive from Atlanta. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a fun time. It was, that was the first time. That was back in March, so that was the first time we'd been on stage in front of an audience in quite a while. So it felt good to be back, and things just went really well. We actually, Mitch, funny enough, came in, played with us for that show too because he was in town. So Mitch played with us. So we had 2 lead guitarists from that show, and then for the first few songs, I didn't even play guitar. I just sang. But it was. I remember that one pretty well. The band was running the sound, so the sound wasn't the best in there, but the audience seemed to be getting into it, and it was just cool to be playing in front of an audience again.
Yeah, I gotta say it was amazing to be able to be in front of people and perform. I had such a hard time hearing anything at all because of the audio setup that it was like the sound was just unbearable. It was so hard to know everything just felt washed out. But as far as being in front of people, it was so great to be able to stand on stage and be part of something like that. I think actually the next show we played after that was significantly better at Furnace 41. That was such an incredible show. Like every time we play at Furnace 41, the audience energy is just such vibrance, and they're just so always into it. So something about Furnace 41 is so much fun to play at.
Yeah.
Where's that at? I don't think
that's in Jonesboro.
Yeah, south of
Okay.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
It's a cool little outside the perimeter venue that we've played a few times, and it's funny. It really was a tale of two stories. Like the first time we ever played it, before any of these guys were in the band, there was literally no one there. I mean, we played, and it was very beginning of the Relics, and we had just had a really big like Battle of the Bands final show, so we promoted the heck out of that show, and really weren't able to draw well for the Furnace 41 show, which was like a week later. And it was also raining, so there was like no one out there, and I had a bad taste in my mouth for that for a while. But then when we played there last year, it was the last show we did right before the pandemic.
Yes,
like it was in March. I had lost my voice. This was one of the weirdest things that's ever happened. Like I completely lost my voice at the show, and could hardly sing because I was sick. I had some kind of sinus infection, and we were trying to warm me up for like an hour backstage, and I could hardly sing Folsom Prison by Johnny Cash. My voice was just that dead. And like I took a shot of I remember when I hosted karaoke, the guy who was my boss, he told me, if you ever lose your voice in the show, take a shot of Maker's Mark. It'll wake your voice up. And I did that, and for some way, somehow, it slightly woke my voice up. But like we did the first song, we opened up with a slower song to try to be easy on my voice, and we were tuned down a half step, and my voice just cracked like crazy. I was like, tonight is the night, and I looked at Sean like this to help me, and Sean started singing along with me to help me out. And then all of a sudden, my voice just came back to me, and I saw the audience like getting along. It was a small little audience, but they were just going crazy. And for some reason, that got my adrenaline going nuts, and my voice was able to kick in for the show. But I sounded like I was probably in my 70s when I was singing that show.
I gotta say, that was one of the more fun shows that we've played. Not to say that the other ones haven't been an amazing experience every time, but
that one was
the pure factor of how engaged the audience is really makes a difference for how a show goes.
Oh, for sure.
Responsibility that falls on us as the artists to engage the audience. We have to be performers. We have to let them know that we're here to do something for them, and they have to be able to receive that. If we're just standing up there like statues staring at our feet or pedals or fingers and equipment, like it's fun that we're playing music, it's great that we're doing that, but we're not putting on a show. We're not making these people experience something nearly as much as if we're alive on a stage and really letting these people know that we want to perform for them.
Yeah. And Greg's has been a big part of helping our show stay streamlined. Like Greg, you always have in practice the ideas of having medleys, having songs flow together.
Absolutely, yeah, because I think that's really important. And I picked that up from playing in different bands prior. And there was actually one artist that I played with. This is reggae artist, and his stuff is really high energy. And one of the things that he has is that his first 4 songs, he said, you got to get him your first 4 songs. So that experience with other experiences that I've had with working with different bands and different artists, that's something that's very important in terms of like, you don't want to have dead space in your set. You want to have a continuity to everything to keep people engaged. And there's a certain art to commanding the stage and having stage presence, and especially when you're presenting yourself. The thing about it, if you're a known band or you're a known artist, it's a little bit different because people know your stuff, and there's a certain way you can there's certain things you can get away with. But if people don't know you, who you are, you really have to have something come up with the formula that's going to work to really capture their attention and captivate your audience and get them and really bring them in early. So I've taken, some things that I've accumulated with people who I've worked with and just applied to the Relics.
We really appreciate all your talent and skill, Greg. It's been wonderful. I've been part of a few bands, but I got to say no one's really as I don't want to say creative, but I'd say overall, like Greg, man, you're the best drummer I've ever played with.
Absolutely. And like Greg just has the, ideas that are, with whether it's or helping arrange a song or transitioning from a song or something. He's had so many good ideas with that
and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The dynamics are big.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's his, he's great. He's got a great mind for that, because I think we all have the showman mentality, which we like to, put on the show for the audience and have it. We want our shows to be an experience for the audience where it feels like they're, constantly got something going and like they're being entertained constantly.
Right. And there's a fine line too. Like we went to a show last night up in Canton. It was like it was a cover band, like one of the tribute bands.
Yeah.
And you could tell it was kind of like some of it was a little kind of rehearsed. Like you probably say the same thing between every song and like kind of like their segues and stuff like that. So there's probably a big fine line of not doing the same thing, but yet keeping it interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. Joseph and I, we both saw The Who. It was at 2019.
Yeah, was 2019.
We saw The Who 2019. I was lucky enough. I got floor seats the same day for $90. It's incredible. But when I saw Roger Daughtry doing the spin and he threw up the mic and caught it and kept singing, like granted, the dude is 70 years old, but it looked
plus
like
70.
It looked like he was just practicing and nothing more. Like,
oh yeah,
I don't mean he had a great show, keeps his voice amazing. It's just that I felt like he had done this a few times.
It's cool, definitely. I mean, you seeing some band like that that's been doing that for years, like Pete Townsend doing the windmills, and then Roger Daughtry doing the mic spin and catching it. They got their stage moves rehearsed and everything.
Down to a science with them.
Definitely.
Here's a kind of a good segue. We kind of passed it a little bit, but you guys were talking about that one show, about your voice and how the crowd got you into it and everything. What's one of the funniest things that's ever happened on stage or in the audience, either one?
So this one is funny now, but it was not funny when it happened.
Funny stories?
I don't know which one was worse. This one was when we were on UGA's radio, and this was with the old Relics, and there was dead sound. I don't even know if that's even what we're talking about, but Greg and Sean will remember this one. It was back when COVID first happened. We tried to do a live stream, and we tried to do it at our spot where we rehearsed at Greg's place, and I was using this Mac right here that I'm using to stream off this. Had my interface right here, and I didn't know this was the first one we had tried. We set up, and we were getting ready to start, and we started, and it apparently sounded like some nuclear bomb was going off when we played, because we just had the thing going cronk, cronk, and like people were commenting like, Joseph, it doesn't sound good, stop. And like I couldn't see it because we were playing, and then we had to go and I realized it cut off, and then like I had a bunch of missed texts saying, Joseph, the sound sounds bad, you got to fix it. And we had like a pre-saved link to go get on the live stream. And it was really bad. And then I saw a Snapchat that my friend sent to me, and they were just laughing at me. And it was like, you're like, like just that's all you could hear. Yeah. And we ended up fixing it and got it right. But that was the last time we ever tried to do a live stream on our own without having someone else run it for us.
No, it's hard. And I've done some where, I've had people perform on here, and it's even harder when like the connection's coming through me and then they're on the other side. Right. So,
yeah.
And they're trying to perform, and I've had probably like 75% of them were really good. And I've had like 25% of them like just really bad. And then it's nothing you can do anything about. It's just like whether you have good bandwidth at that split second, or, then you get some people that don't have bandwidth at all, and you're just so I kind of stopped doing it
What happened was I had this thing cranked all the way, and I didn't see that, and that was what we figured that out pretty quickly once we saw that. That's what jacked it up. But I don't know, Greg, Sean, Andrew, do you guys have anything you think that was weird that's happened this year? I think things have gone pretty smoothly this year. Is there anything that you guys noticed that was weird or anything?
Wait, Sean, are you muted?
No, he's.
No, I'm muted. My bad, guys.
I was gonna say.
Everything's been going extremely smoothly with the Relics. Nothing really funny ever happens. We had one person leave a nasty review on Facebook. They're probably just jealous. The only thing I can say is like the way we like interact with each other is the funniest thing. Like Joseph will sometimes he'll be wearing a jacket, which I don't know why you start wearing a jacket. He'll wear his jacket and he'll take it off.
Move.
He'll take it off about a quarter of the way through the set, and I go, for $20 more, he'll take his shirt off. It's not really a rehearsed joke, but when I see it happening, I say it.
Yeah.
I agree. We pretty much improvise our banter at every show, and sometimes it's more funny than other shows, and but I always enjoy it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I want to say something happened in Macon, but
Macon was
Macon was cool though. It's just I'm trying to think if something happened in Macon, but
it was the sound.
Well, no,
I have to take some time to think about that.
I can tell you what happened in Macon. It was when the bartenders were getting mad because it was loud, and they told us to cut off. Sean was being a bit loud.
Sean was playing a little loud, and the bartenders got pissed.
In my defense, if you can hear them complaining, you're not playing loud enough.
But the crowd was loving it.
The crowd was loving it, and they when we saw it, that's gotta be our last song. After they did, they started the whole bar, and this was about probably 100 people.
Easily
started shouting, "One more song, one more song," and then. We just ended on "Wake Me Up When September Ends" by Green Day, and then everyone in the whole bar was singing along, and it was a pretty good one.
That was a great.
And then another guy said he would give us like $200 if we played 5 more songs.
Yeah, he did.
But we're getting kicked out, so
we were like, "Hey man, go talk to the bar. Like, tell them."
That would have been awesome if that had been what happened.
That was great. That was great, though.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Those moments are awesome. I mean.
There's nothing quite like being in a band. Just the amount of randomness that comes along with it. The craziness every single step of the way. It's just it's something new. Something crazy happens all the time.
We had something. My sons and I had something similar. We know this band that plays down in Florida at some local bars and stuff, and they know us, and they had us come play on stage. So they all like took a break, and my 2 sons and I, they're at the time they were like 12 and I don't know 9 or something like that. We get on stage and we play Seven Nation Army, and everybody starts chanting one more. I'm like, we don't have another one.
Yeah, that's funny you say that. That was the convenient thing about that show is because we didn't have much more on that set. We were working on a 3-hour set, and at that point in time in March, since Andrew had just joined the band, and really we didn't have a 3-hour set down before Andrew had joined the band. We honestly had more material than we had ever had before for that show. And we only had, I think, on that set about 3 or 4 more songs left to go before they cut us off. So it was kind of convenient, actually.
Yeah. 3-hour set stuff.
Yeah, it's tough when you're an original band because, our focus is always going to be originals, because we've been working on fine-tuning more so recently. We've been working on some new songs and fine-tuning them, and then we got some some other new ones that we want to start working on here soon too.
Right.
I think some of our I think some of my favorite kind of fusions between the cover and the originals is whenever we take like the ending of a song that we've written and we lead that into a cover. Like we'll end on Baby Blue where everyone's going crazy on the A note. Then I lead us into a Running Down a Dream with Banana, and Greg comes in and we just go flow right into that song. So connecting our music with cover songs it's a really fun way to kind of express what we're into and what makes us tick.
Yeah, definitely.
It's almost like a DJ at a party.
Yeah,
mixing songs.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely that same kind of vibe that the transitions of the medleys and stuff like that.
Yeah, you don't want the people to stop dancing.
No way. You don't want to lose the energy, the focus. You don't even leave like 10, 20 seconds of dead air. That's too much.
Yeah.
Right.
Unless you want it. I found out last week, interesting enough, I found a song, my roommate showed it to me. It's called 4 minute 33 seconds. And it was composed by some random dude, I don't know who, but it is complete silence. It is 130 something measures of silence, and it's performed in front of an audience. This YouTube video that I found where this guy sits at a piano, holds up a timer, clicks it, and waits for that duration of time, bows, and leaves.
That guy's done too much drugs.
So you can use silence, gentlemen. Silence isn't the enemy. It's just not welcomed all the time.
I would leave.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. So, man, you guys are a great interview. Like, we could keep talking all night long. You guys are so easy. I could listen. I could just sit back and listen to you guys all night.
Oh, thank you. I feel like
that's a problem in rehearsal. We just start talking, and then it's like, oh man, it's like 10 p.m.
Oh, this is this is awesome, because sometimes I'll have like interviews and I'm like, oh crap, I gotta get the next question because like they're so quick on it. I'm like, I got like all the time in the world.
It's like
awesome.
It's like a girl that's giving you short responses when you're talking. We're the cool girl, We're the fun to talk to.
I wouldn't know. I married my high school sweetheart, so
Gotcha.
That's
No. If you could play any TV show or event, what would it be? Like Super Bowl or like a late night TV show or something like that?
I would have to go with SNL. Saturday Night Live. I would love to play that.
Greg, what about you?
I got two. Jimmy Fallon. And as far as, I don't know about event, but as far as venues, one thing's on my bucket list is to play Red Rocks.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. My roommate, funny to mention him again, he's going to Colorado this week to go to Red Rocks to see his favorite band in the world called Sound Tribe STS9. He says it's a legendary studio, and he's gonna try to tell me all about it. But he's really excited to go to Red Rocks.
Yeah, man. Like
out in fucking Colorado.
Somebody told me about Red Rocks in an interview, probably like it's like episode 6 or something like that. I'm like, I don't know where Red Rocks is, and ever since then, like everybody says Red Rocks. I'm like, how did I not know about Red Rocks and everybody knows about it in the world? Like I found, obviously I researched and all that. I'm like, wow, that's place is freaking unbelievable.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
I first found out about Red Rocks because one of my students, a former student of mine, first told me about it, and he's a big fan of. He likes Widespread Panic, so he would always be. I think he's been there several times, but I remember when he first told me about he was going to Red Rocks. I was like, okay, well, let me check this place out. And he was telling me about it. When I saw it, I was like, okay, yeah, I'd like to play there.
Nice.
For me, it would probably be Jimmy Fallon would be really cool. That would definitely be something to be really cool to be on there. Or if it was a show, I'm torn between the Super Bowl or like the Grammys. Performing at the Grammys would be really, really cool because I've always loved watching artists perform at the Grammys or something, especially when they have like two artists perform at the same time. Like if they had us and some classic rock artist playing, a song together, that would be really cool. Or some like 90s band playing a song together. Those are always what I've always thought those were super cool events when they have that. But the Super Bowl, unfortunately, they don't have rock bands anymore. They, sold out and decided to have the pop stars come on there. Although I will say I did enjoy The Weeknd this past year. I thoroughly enjoyed his Super Bowl set. Most of the time I don't like the Super Bowl performances, but I actually liked his a lot.
It's always cool seeing like the new people and the old people like get together. Like, back in the day, like Guns N' Roses and oh my God, why am I having oh my God, I can't think of them. The Rocket Man.
Zeppelin.
No,
didn't Aerosmith play the Super Bowl one time?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah, or
Sounds
possibly. Might have been a long time ago. So Guns N' Roses, Rocket Man, Elton John.
Yeah. They did like one of the music award shows together.
Yeah. Those
And
are
then-
so cool.
And then recently it was, Ozzy Osbourne and what's his name? My God, why am I having a brain fart today?
Ozzy Osbourne and I'm trying to think of who you're talking about.
The new guy that. Oh my God, I can't believe I just brain farted on that. I just thought about it before I said it too.
They had Maroon 5 and I think some of the Beach Boys too back a while back. I can't remember which members it was because that was before I was into the Beach Boys when that happened. That was in 2011. It was Maroon 5 and I think possibly Brian Wilson or Mike Love might have been one of the guys. And then, of course, Paul McCartney performed with Rihanna and Kanye West in 2015, but that was a song that he did with them. That was kind of funny to watch. That was definitely an interesting one.
I'll say for my answer, I'm gonna go. If we ever can nail the ending credits for Zombieland 3,
I haven't seen the second one yet.
it was pretty good, but nothing's gonna beat the first one.
No, the first one was awesome.
Yeah. That would complete my goals.
What's something that's was positive from the pandemic, like for your band?
There was a lot, honestly. I mean, it was double-edged sword. It definitely killed a lot of momentum we were having on social media and with streams on Spotify. But on the other side, we were able to kind of build up a lot of momentum and use it for good and attracting new fans that were like on our friends list because we did a lot of covers. I made a lot of solo acoustic covers. Like I covered Vienna by Billy Joel with a friend, and then did She's Got Away by Billy Joel. I did this one John Lennon song. And then as a band, we did, of course, that Green Day song and the Beatles song In My Life. We put that out as a tribute to John Lennon because last December would have been the 40th anniversary of his death. So we did that as a little tribute to him, and that got a lot of views and stuff. So there was a lot of things what we did to be able to promote on social media. And live streams, they were really helpful. We gained there were a lot of people on my friends list on Facebook who didn't really keep up with us before, who for the first time could hear us and listen to us because we were from the convenience of their living room on their cell phone on Facebook live for them to see. And they could watch us for the first time without having to leave their house. And we've been able to make some new fans because of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
That's totally right. I think also it's worth mentioning that even though the shows slowed down, we never really stopped practicing.
No.
We never really stopped meeting up and coming up with new things to do and just kind of expanding on what we already had. So I think
Absolutely.
the pandemic, it unfortunately took away a lot of bands that weren't really having a lot of momentum or doing a lot of activity, but we never stopped, and I think that made us tighter, just being able to focus on what we have in front of us.
Yeah, I mean, I know for me personally, I worked like crazy on just pitch accuracy and rhythm last year, just with recording on GarageBand and stuff, and just really working on being more intentional with things that I wasn't really intentional with before. So that was something that was really good about the pandemic for me, just being able to use it for growth in that way.
Nice. Let's talk.
And of course, we found Andrew then too. So
Right.
that was that. I can't. That was the best thing about it. Honestly, was that we found Andrew.
Thanks.
I'm thinking, wasn't that first show with Andrew on the live stream?
That was our second one, actually.
Okay, because I got it mixed up.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the second one. So the first one was in Elberton.
Yeah, and then the week
Okay,
later, a week later, I guess we did it with Andrew on a live stream. Yeah, a week later.
So let's get into your music. So during the pandemic, you had Standing Tall. You released that recently after the pandemic, or the tail end of it. Is that something you guys recorded during the pandemic, or?
Absolutely.
Yes and no. Yeah. So we started that, and right before it all happened, we were in the studio recording that and Addicted last January. So we tracked the drums, the vocals, and of course all the instruments that time, and then we were starting to mix it. And my producer, right when COVID happened, he told me, he texted me, he told me, dude, I've got shortness of breath. I got a 102-degree fever. He's like, I'm not leaving the house anywhere until I can get tested. And sure enough, he did have COVID, and he had a fever for I think something like 20 days or something crazy like that. It almost killed him. So we took a long break because the country was shut down, and he wasn't doing any studio sessions even after he recovered. But he started working again in May, and Sean came and he did a guitar part on that, and I redid a guitar part that I wasn't as crazy about from the original recording. And then we had Andrew, of course, a year later, redo the bass line for Standing Tall and Addicted, because we wanted to have Andrew on there and just wanted to have the new bass line on there.
Right.
Nice. Yeah, they when I was auditioning for the band, they sent me the almost complete recordings of Addicted and Standing Tall, and that was really that was probably the main thing that convinced me to join the band. Besides meeting all of them and thinking we'd all be great friends. I mean, I was really impressed with the recordings. I think they're great songs, and hearing them, I just had a little different take on some of the bass parts, and I think re-recording those. I really enjoyed doing that, and I think they sound great.
It enhanced the songs, definitely.
Keep it bouncy and
yeah. It definitely enhanced the songs, re-recording the bass lines on that and having the new bass parts on there. We were happy to make those changes with the bass lines on that, but we still had our old members backing vocals on it because he definitely did a great job with the backing vocals on that too. So tip of the hat to him with that. Should mention Evan Bergese. He was with us for a while, but just decided to stop playing. He was a good loyal member when he was with us, though. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
That's nice. What's one of your favorite songs to perform?
I'm going to say Wake Me Up When September Ends. I know we've talked about that a lot, but there seems to be something really great about that song and how it impacts the audience. Other than that, I'd say Born to Be Wild for a very similar reason. A very different mood. But if we're saying original songs, actually, we've just finished, or maybe not finished. We've finished writing the song called Sunshine that we're gonna be in the studio to start recording pretty soon. And out of all the originals that we play, that one is consistently, I think, the most fun, and it's a good vibe song, definitely. But it's just a really great and fun song to play for me. I'm interested to see what the other guys think as which original songs we have that we kind of like the best.
Sunshine's a fun one. It's always when it's the new kid on the block, it's always a fun to do the new ones because you play the old ones so much and you get used to playing them. So when it's a new song like Sunshine, it's definitely fun. For me, that one's definitely vocally challenging because it goes up there on some parts. So, but I still enjoy doing it nonetheless, and really like the reaction, seeing people get into it. For me, it's definitely Standing Tall. It's just I can't. The reactions that song got since the very first time I wrote it and the first time we played it out live when the band helped arrange it, and seeing the audience sing along to it for the first time. That was the first time I ever remember an audience member singing along to an original song, because the chorus is purposely simple. I wrote it in an anthem. I'd always wanted to write like an anthem-like song. So when I wrote that song, I wanted to have like an anthem, big time feel where people could sing along to it. And it's got that fun solo section, and the full version, which you'll see on the album version when we release that, it actually comes back with a reprise. And that's, if you've seen us live, we do that. We come back with a fake ending and come back with the chorus one last time. Nice. But the single version, we had to cut it short, so we have it fade out in the solo. But that solo section is just so much fun to play, even though that's Sean doing the solo. It's so much fun just walking around the stage and seeing people's reaction, because Sean will go up on the speaker and start showing off, and the audience will just go nuts. And then once we do that little fake ending, and I'm coming with just the guitar, which you'll see when we do the album version, I just feel like I got a loaded machine gun in my hand, and I'm just about to mow people away. It's just like
choice of words, Joseph.
It's just you feel like you got all this power in your hand, because the audience is going crazy from the fake ending, and I got this electric guitar, and I'm just strumming. It's like, it feels like you got the ball in football, like you caught a ball and you're running to score the winning touchdown. You just, it's got this, because we always end on that song. So it's just the most electrifying feeling ever when we do that song at that specific part. And Greg comes back into the drums, and it's just, you know, you can see the audience just looking really like. I actually had an audience member tell me that when we did that at our single release show for that song, and we came back in that, he actually got chills when we did that.
Nice.
So that was like, you know, that was exactly what I was hoping it would give him. You know, that's the intended effect. So for me, that's definitely my favorite to play. And I also love to play, if it's a slower one, I love playing Sweet Melody. It's this newer song. And the song Tonight's the Night is a fun song to do. And I like playing the song Roundabout too.
Roundabout's the jam, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's a fun, bouncy song that people, you know, you can see people bopping to when we do it.
Right.
What about you, Greg and Andrew?
As far as like, well, I'm going to stick to original songs.
Yeah.
I mean, there's songs I do like to play because we do our share of covers. But as far as original songs, I'm going to say probably the newest one we got, which is The Hard Truth. And I'll tell you why. You know, playing drums, my thing is rhythm. So I like certain things that if it's something that people can dance to and keep people upbeat and happy, then I'm all right with that. So
that's a great one to play.
My thing slipped there. Anyway, by me providing the foundation, I like to keep people's heads bobbing and moving. Butts out of seats and up and dancing.
Yeah.
That's my job. So it's like that song has a groove that, you know, makes you want to do that. And I just like the way it grooves a lot.
That's a great song. We're definitely excited to record. That's one Andrew wrote.
Yes.
And that's a really good one. Is that what was I gonna say? No, I was gonna say that was definitely that would be on the top of my list too, for sure.
Yeah, I'll agree with Greg and say that The Hard Truth is mine too. That's a newer one for us. But you know, Greg was kind of playing this drum rhythm one day in practice, and he's like he just said, it's like you got to give people something they can dance to. So I was kind of going over that drum rhythm and thinking about that kind of general. And I wrote this bass riff. From it came just this kind of song about just kind of like just general debauchery, I guess I'd say. And I think that's a very fun song. It gives us all different places to shine because Greg has some great drum playing in that. I really like the riff that I play on bass. Sean has a really awesome solo section that just shreds hard. And then Joseph and I kind of alternate vocals.
Oh, it's really cool. It's unique. It's unique because like, I sing one line, then he sings one line. It's really a fun little, and then we sing together in the chorus, and it's definitely a fun kind of. It almost sounds like it's like a story of just two guys going off to Vegas, just doing.
Right.
But what I like about it, Andrew, is it's got a good message in it too. You know, it's talking about debauchery, but it's talking about like, you know, I know the hard truth. This stuff kills you.
Right.
You know, so it's got a good message at the end of at the end of it all. But it's a really sexy, cool song.
But debauchery is still fun, right?
So what's good is it sounds like your bass player and your drummer are on the same page.
I'm glad.
Absolutely. I mean, that's
we're all really on the same page, despite we're coming from different places for a lot of different influences. And even where we come from, like physically, like I'm from North Carolina. I know Joseph's been here. Greg, you're from Alabama, and Andrew, like he said, is from Indiana. So we really come from a lot of different places and we fuse a lot of different things, but it's like four pieces of a puzzle all coming together and fitting
Definitely
a square.
Definitely.
Yeah. No, and I can feel like the chemistry between you.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. And then for me, covers wise, I like doing Running Down Dreams, always fun.
Oh, yeah.
And then
that was gonna be my first choice as far as covers.
Yeah.
That's a banger. You know, we put our own kind of fun rock spin on it where we kind of make it a little heavier. And I love doing She's So High by Tal Bachman. That one's that's for the girls, you know. The ladies love that one.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Radiohead. So I like doing Creep by Radiohead. I really like our version of that.
That's a fun one.
Like how it sounds and really its energy.
Yeah, I haven't heard you guys do that one. That'd be good.
Yeah,
that's a new one. Yeah, we're adding a lot to the repertoire, which has been nice. I mean, it's kind of hard for us because we keep getting all these shows, so we kind of have to put together our set list and kind of go on that. but we're just adding on a little by little.
Yeah,
Not a
now
problem. We get too many shows.
That's true.
well, and now it's like a hard, especially when it's a short show. We're like, which songs do we do? Because
Right.
like that was never a problem before, really. But now it's like, which ones do we do? Like, especially because if we're doing like we're playing at the Masquerade this Friday, and for that, it's going to be a shorter 30-minute set. So it's like, what do we do? Do we want to do at least? We're going to kick with the originals. We're like, which originals do we do? And then we'd probably throw one cover in there, and then it's like at that point with all the good covers we do, it's like, which cover do we do of all that?
Right.
So it's like
a lot of thought and consideration has to go into what our set list looks like, and
definitely
it's mostly about where we're playing, what we anticipate the crowd will enjoy. If there's other bands, what kind of music are they playing? Because we are a wide range of genres. You know, there's a lot of bands that only do this one genre, and like they do it really well, but they only do that one thing. We have lots of different moods, genres, instrumentation styles.
Absolutely,
a lot. We're very expansive as far as like what we'll play for covers, and we can fill a lot of different rock crowds.
Well, yeah,
satisfy them.
And even original wise, like we have songs that are very, very different. Like we have a lot of these are unreleased songs. About name here, like Fighter. That's the song we're working on in the studios. I just did the lead vocals for it in the studio last Saturday, and that was a lot of fun. That song's a heavier song. Addicted, obviously, is a heavier song. Standing Tall is kind of a good middle song. It's energetic, but it kind of fits. It's an all pleaser. It's it's all genres. I feel like it works well with. Then we have slower songs too.
Well, let's jump into your newer music. So you just talked about one that you're just starting to record, right? And then
Fighter, yeah.
Okay. And then you had the other one you were talking about too.
The Hard Truth. Yeah, that one's the newest of all of them.
Okay.
That's the newest song, and that's definitely one that we haven't started recording that yet, but we definitely want to record that this year and release that as a single because it's a single quality level song, and it's got something that our other songs don't have because Andrew was the writer of it. So because of that, it has more of a modern alternative rock sound. It's still got a little bit of classic rock in it, where it's got this kind of cool, groovy bass line that you would have heard in something from the 70s. But like the melody and the overall mood of it is more, modern alternative rock, which is something we needed because we needed more like modern songs. And at the end of the day, the goal of this band was never to be completely a throwback style music. We wanted to have like a mix of that with a modern alternative twist to it.
Exactly. So when do you think you're going to release singles? Or are you going to release an album? Or
the plan is to what I've been watching a lot of videos on like marketing and like the marketing 101 for music. And what I've kind of thought and what we've all kind of decided we thought would be the best idea would be to release some singles, like maybe release 3 singles, 3 more singles even to ones we're already releasing. And then after that, release an album, and that album will have like 2 or 3 songs that weren't released as singles, but we have at least 3 songs that I can think of right now in my head that are single quality songs. Like they're up to that quality. Other songs, I think they're good songs, but they're probably going to work better as album tracks just because either they're a little older, but whatnot, older sounding or whatnot, but they'll be solid, strong album tracks nonetheless. But the singles that we have, we got some really, really good singles on the horizon for sure.
That name I couldn't think of before was Post Malone. Post Malone and Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh, that's right.
They did.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about that. That was this past year. Yeah.
Yeah, and if nobody's seen Post Malone do the Nirvana covers during the pandemic, you're missing something. Go look at that on YouTube.
Really?
Post Malone Nirvana is freaking unbelievable. He probably did like 10 songs, and it was with Travis Barker and like 2 or 3 other people.
I love Travis Barker. Travis Barker is doing tracks with all these new young like pop punk artists.
Yeah,
and it's just like revitalizing that whole scene.
And this was just a live stream. It was freaking unbelievable.
That's awesome.
But, where can people find your music?
You have a phone, right?
Yeah, you can find it.
I'm like, yeah.
Phone, computer.
I can find it anywhere you stream your music. All the main stores like Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Google.
Google stopped it during their music.
It's YouTube now. Yeah, YouTube Music
is your. I use Google Music as my main main streaming platform.
Gotcha. I didn't know that.
They had an equalizer on there. I don't have an equalizer on Apple Music. I'm upset about this.
Yeah, I use Apple, but we have all the streaming platforms, and as soon as we have another album, we'll make CDs of it. We have CDs of our old EP, but we're pushing. Our whole motto is forward, so we're pushing our new material.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you want to listen to our old material, that's cool. But no, we want you to listen to it all. But what our whole mindset is moving forward. So it's those new originals and stuff that we're we won't plan on making any new copies of the old CDs from the old EP. It's all about moving forward and moving on to the new stuff.
Right.
So yeah, anywhere you stream your music, you can find us. Just look the Relics. Our logo's got a album record on it, and you on Spotify you can see a picture of our faces. If you see another band in the Relics, run the other way. They're not us.
Report them. They're doing something illegal.
They're doing something. Tell them they're doing something illegal. We own the name. Tell them to get lost. But
Be nice about it.
No, don't be nice about it. It's be like, get lost. There's only one. It's like Highlander, the movie. There can only be one.
Yeah.
But that's Standing Tall right there. It's
Yeah.
that's our website. You can stream that. We have a new music video coming out for that too. That'll be
Yes.
on
That's gonna be
YouTube,
awesome.
Facebook, Instagram, anywhere where there's video. We'll have that out to watch.
Yep, and you got the iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Amazon, Google Play.
Yeah, Google Play's out of date now. I need to update my website there on that.
Okay.
And the show date's probably out of date, but I
Yeah.
can tell you what we have. Ever since I got my full-time job, I've had a hard time keeping this site up to date. So our Facebook's got more of our up to date on it. But we're playing this Friday at the Masquerade. We're opening
Yes.
for a band called 7 Year Witch. So
Awesome.
we would definitely love to see you there. That's a big show. Probably one of the biggest shows we've had at the Masquerade, actually. And we've had some big ones there. But
Especially
we would
coming back after the pandemic.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we would this is our first this is actually our first show back inside the perimeter since the pandemic. So we would love to have a good welcome home party, and we want to see you guys all there. That's going to be a super fun time.
And one thing I noticed when like Too Hot and Bad Guru, they played at Masquerade. And
I was there
noticed-
recently.
You're right.
Yeah.
And there's so many bands there supporting them, and they're watching that show too. It's like everybody's supporting each other right now, and it's just a really cool vibe.
That is cool about that. That's something I know. I was at that show too
Right.
myself.
I know. Yeah.
And like that's the cool thing about it. Like musicians are actually supporting each other now. I don't know if they were. I've always done it, but I don't know if everyone else was doing it before. As far as like other bands were coming out, I do feel like I'm seeing other bands at shows more because I think people took it for granted before, but now people realize it's something that you can't take for granted.
Yeah.
By going to see your fellow other local musicians in concert. So
I mean, saw you posting stuff about them.
Oh, yeah.
That you were there and you're posting stuff about them.
Yeah.
playing. That's just really, really cool, and I'm glad everybody's doing that because that's what I'm trying to do is support every as much as I can all the local bands, and it's really cool seeing the bands doing that.
It's a moving parts thing, or it's not moving parts. It's what's it? Where as one thing grows stronger, the other thing grows stronger. So it's
Rising tide.
Rising tides. I forgot my terminology there.
I got the idioms.
You got the idiom there. It's a rising tides thing. So as other bands start to increase in popularity, that helps everyone because if you play with that band, you're able to play in front of their bigger audience and hopefully gain some new fans. So it's definitely something you want a healthy scene.
Right. Now you just mentioned about the one Masquerade. What you have anything else planned coming up?
Yeah. So if you live in Cartersville, we're playing in Cartersville this Saturday. So if you're in the Cartersville area, that would be a good one. We'll be at downtown Cartersville at 9 p.m. We'll be on stage. And the show starts, I believe, at 5 p.m. or so, or 6 p.m. There's a couple good artists on that one. We got Blair the music she's playing. Jerry Gaden, he'll be opening up solo acoustic. He's a really good singer. And then we also got, who's the other one we have on there? I'm trying to remember. Oh, it's this band called Radio. It's Talking Radio. They're this cool duo group that I've seen at open mics. They'll be there. And then on July 30th, we're playing at Schoolhouse Brewing in Marietta.
Nice.
That'll be a 2-hour set. And then I think as far as shows go, that's all that's on the books at the moment, but working on more.
I want to try to get to more and more shows because fall baseball is not as crazy. So hopefully I'll be able to get to more and more shows now,
Yeah.
especially that everybody's playing and stuff.
Yeah, we'd love to see you at the Masquerade if you're not doing anything on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll be out of town. But
Too bad. Too bad.
we're
We'll
having a family reunion next weekend, and actually Scott Reeves is going to be playing there. So down in
wow.
Florida. So he's plays in down in Jacksonville. So and we're
That's
going to
cool.
be in Cedar Key, and he's going to come over and play for my family. It's going to be awesome.
Nice.
Awesome.
All right, so you got social media, you use Spotify, you got Facebook, and you got all those. I'll have all the links down in the description down below. It's already there. Just click on them, browse, and follow them, and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I showed your website. Anything you guys want to plug or anything else?
Yeah, just be on the lookout for our music video. That should be coming out in around 2 weeks. I just sent the final edits to Fernando, who did the video for us. Shout out to Fernando Flores. He actually drummed with us too for a while, but Fernando's done an excellent job on this video. I think everyone else in the band would agree.
Oh, yeah.
We had a blast shooting that video. We shot it out in this field in Kennesaw, and it was an absolute fun time. So, just be on the lookout for that one because I think you guys are going to love that video.
Yeah, and check out their YouTube channel. And you got some really great videos in there too. And the videos are edited really nice and stuff.
Well, thank you.
I don't know if that's the same person or not, but you guys,
that was Greg on one of them.
Yeah.
Green Day one.
Yeah.
He did the Green Day one.
Wow, that's impressive. That was a really nice one too.
Yeah.
They're all great, but definitely check that out. Subscribe to them. Do whatever you got to do to keep following them because they're definitely worth following.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having us, Chris. This was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds, we could talk all night. This thing could go like hours.
It'd be like a Howard Stern interview at that point.
No, this is actually probably my longest one. I usually,
no way.
I've never had one go over an hour, but this was entertaining. I just sat back and listened. This is the first one I could actually relax and just like take it in. I think it was
no
nice.
way.
It was great. Yeah.
I'm glad we could be that for you.
I mean, they're all great interviews. I'm just saying this one I felt a little more relaxed, but anyway.
That's great.
Oh yeah.
Great.
Awesome.
So,
Well, thank you so much, Chris. It's been a pleasure. I'm so glad that you could bring us on and ask us some questions about our band and kind of, share us around the interwebs.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Chris. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
For
sure.
The conversation.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, Chris.
Well, everybody, thank you for watching and go straight home.
Bye-bye.